This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Who you gonna call? Coon Busters. This is Dr. Randy Short. I am Coon Buster in Chief. I'm Vicar of the Coons, and I am here to talk to you at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on January the 28th, 2019. I am here with you and all the other people, all the folks in the streets fighting against the freaky Greeks. We are here to resolute and to bring and make straight the situation before our people. The forces of black righteousness versus the forces of brown white supremacy are in a struggle. We are in a state of civil war against Boule, Illuminati, Luciferian, LGBTQ sexuality, coon, sellout blacknecks. It's real. I mean, we have to be very honest with one another, brothers and sisters. We absolutely have to confront the reality that we are facing a situation where you have a person who is the Cruella de Vil, the Marie Antoinette. I mean, literally, the Bonnie, the Bonnie of the Bonnie and Clyde gangsters named Kamala Harris. She is a Hindu who will not tell you she's a Hindu. She hates black men. She hates black people. She hates the Constitution. She hates borders. She hates black communities, black churches. She hates the black traditional male-female family. In fact, she's not trying to have one. Just look at her bald-headed white honey she's with. And she's not black. Take a side view. She's got more wrinkles than an ostrich skin glove on her face. That's not a black woman, okay? She's not your sister. And for all the little fake-ass people from the Caribbean, y'all haven't done a goddamn thing to stand up to white people for the rights that you benefit from in this country. Y'all don't have an opinion right now. There are a whole bunch of high-placed, either Greek letter or foreign blacks who hate the black masses, who've benefited off of the suffering and struggling of the black masses, and that goddamn holiday just ended. If you're a journalist and you're a Greek, in fact, if you're a Greek at all, you're a traitor to the black community because you identify as European before you identify as black. I don't care which of the 9 frats you're in or sororities that you're in. Y'all bowed down. You call yourselves Christian, but you bowed down to Satan and took an oath to the devil to get admitted into those groups. And a whole bunch of, if you wonder why there's so much pedophilia, if you wonder why there's so much confusion, so much sexual perversion and corruption in the church, it is because the church is dominated by the Masons and by the Greek letter organizations, which are basically Little League for the Masons. You guys are scum. You are filth. You are disease. You are enemies. You're self-hating traitors to our community. In fact, let me just give y'all some history for you younger folks out there. The Greeks from the 60s all the way up until 1980 were basically not that big, because when the black movement came along, our folks put bullshit like processing your hair and pledging aside. When the black movement began to die, these perverts came back. And I call y'all perverts. Every single solitary black HBCU in particular in North Carolina and Georgia and other places, Howard including, have sky-high rates of HIV, AIDS, and other venereal diseases because of the perversion, the confusion, the promotion of drinking and drug usage by these organizations that don't have a goddamn thing to do with black people's progress. You guys are the enemy. If you ever have a conversation, a real conversation with folks, they'll ask you not whether you're a black sister or brother, whether you are upstanding. Did you pledge? If you didn't pledge to be in one of these groups that's about the Boule, of holding down black people and oppressing and suppressing us and pretending to be black, all the while identifying as Greek, then you're not being real, okay? The Greeks have an alliance to themselves, not to black people. They use us just like whites and gays and Latinos and Jews and everybody else. They're enemies. If your alliance is to your colors, then your alliance is not to your people. And they don't have an alliance to us. Proof of that is no matter how many people Kamala Harris, that bitch Kamala Harris, she's a bitch, she's a bitch, I said it. She's a bitch to all y'all feminists, choke on it, have an aneurysm, and they fall on your sex toy and fall down the stairs. Kamala Harris is an enemy to black people. And look at how all the Greeks came behind her. All of them. What does that say? It's not cute. I don't care if you have a brand on the tip of your penis or on your ass or on your titty or on wherever you had the little marks where you burnt yourself like a slave to show that you're not like the other black people that you use, and then you're something else. And how many nut sacks did y'all lick? How many penises did you suck? How much dope did you drink? How many folk got beat and went through all that slave trading foolishness to be in those organizations? And then on the basis of that perversion and of y'all doing stuff like raping girls and that being a secret, and that makes all of y'all bond together because y'all done all this filthy, immoral stuff together, that makes y'all click against the rest of us. This is why you can find a fat pig like Roland Martin. Okay, I called you a fat pig. You're a degenerate man, that you pushed Hillary Clinton, that you did all this stuff. Our people didn't need Hillary Clinton. Frankly, we don't need any of the people that's ever been in the White House, including the last black one, and we don't need the current one. We need each other. We need a real plan as a nation. And by the way, the Boule, those coons don't want us to make it. Their job is to do just what it's doing, for us to be homeless, for us to be hungry, for us to be out of pocket, and for them to be the exceptional blacks that get to be on TV One or CNN and speak for the very people whose guts they hate. Now let's talk about the Boule for a minute. In the state of Georgia, there are a minimum of 300,000 people that have HIV/AIDS. That should be an emergency. You don't hear it. In Atlanta alone, as many as 30,000 black women have HIV. And a lot of them got it from messing with Greek letter dudes who go both ways. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, y'all do. A whole bunch of people, a lot of folks. Oh, I'm sorry, Omegas. What's this thing about can you suck a dick before you cross over? And some people have sucked those dicks to become Omega or whatever. Yes, they have. And y'all run around and act all hard. I mean, you're a gorilla sissy. You still take it up the ass and you still screw someone in the behind. This is why we have all that AIDS down in Atlanta. That is the capital of black Greekdom as the capital of HIV and AIDS in our community. Small wonder. And you know who they love? They love, I believe, I can't prove it, but I really do think Kamala swings both ways. Like Tarzan, right, swings both ways. It's not for us. It's not for men. It's not for black women. It's not for children when to lock the families up for truancy. So, you know, I really don't care. A whole lot of black stuff needs to be destroyed. We need a civil war against the Greek, Boule, Luciferian, Illuminati dictatorship over our community. They're our enemies. You know what's happening right now? All the black colleges, there's a move, and the Greeks are doing it. It's a man that's Greek to destroy the HBCUs. Oh yes, Brother Omar. People need to know all this abortion. Did y'all know that the Greeks back almost 100 years ago signed on with Margaret Sanger that there were too many black people? The Omegas. Did you know it was an Omega that presided over the Tuskegee Project? Yes, black Greeks supported the the mass genocide of black people with venereal disease in Alabama. And now they're doing it in Atlanta, Georgia. You can tell a tree by its fruit. These folks are enemies. These folks are enemies. These folks are our enemies, and they get a pass. Weren't they the ones that took Freaknik at the height of HIV/AIDS? What did the Greek letter niggas do? They went down and folks were having sex in the streets. It was so nasty until they had to shut it down. How many people got HIV/AIDS from going to the Greek events, having anonymous sex, sex in the streets? Not anti-sex, but in the streets with strangers with an AIDS crisis. Did the Greeks care? You show me an HBCU, there's a high rate of HIV/AIDS. That's a fact. These people are killing us. They are killing us. They're exterminating us. They're in our churches. You want to see churches that never stand up for righteousness or justice or help the homeless or help the poor or stand up to the cops? They've got a 501c3, a Mason pastor, or a Greek pastor, all three put together. There's no power. That's why we don't even have God anymore in our community, because of these motherfuckers. And I call them just that. In fact, they're brother fuckers, sister fuckers. And if they could have sex with the devil, if he could get his legs spread open, they'd hop on him in numbers. It's a filthy, degenerate thing. In fact, I want to talk about Kamala Harris and the AKA chapter that she's in at Howard, because I was there. And Kamala was there when they were forcing girls to experiment with lesbianism. They were forcing the girls to snort cocaine. The girls were doing stuff like having anal sex. And if you had a fear, they'd make folks stand up in the corner and act like a hooker for a night to see how it went. This is Kamala. She's dirty, people. And she knows people's secrets. She knows about other people that snorted cocaine and got sodomized in the booty. Let me tell you something. Back in 2006, the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, what they did for the AKAs crossing over was they ejaculated in their faces. That's right. They put sperm. These men put and somebody's daughter's face, and then some of the women got screwed in the anus violently. That's how they got to become AKAs. There's nothing to be proud of. That's filth. If I had a daughter, she wouldn't be one of them. Kamala and them that's how they can get all those people. They can remind folks about how you either sucked a horse dick or something crazy like that, or ate some doo-doo or whatever. And now all of them are coming together fighting for Kamala because they're filthy, because they serve the devil, because they're Luciferian. That's why they can just come together, because they have all this dirt, grind, nastiness, drinking, whoring, lesbianism, gayness, sodomite. It's a sodomite agenda. And yes, Kamala, that bitch Kamala Harris, along with that punk Cory Booker, they're the Senate co-sponsors. I'm sorry, Senate sponsors of the Equality Act. That's HR 2282. All right, that will gut. It will gut. We call it the Pedophile Amnesty Bill, or pedocare for short. It will legalize pedophilia. It will outlaw religious freedom. And it will gut all the civil rights laws that protect black people and substitute where blacks needed protection. They will put rich white homosexuals and others in their place. This is what that bitch Kamala has signed her name on. And so every black person that you see that supports Kamala Harris supports black people losing our civil rights and our right to have religious freedom. And also they support pedophilia. Kamala Harris, as state's attorney, protected the Catholic Church from litigation from people who survivors of being raped, sodomized as children. Kamala Harris hasn't. She's probably aborted any baby she had. She's afraid it'd be Willie Brown to be black. She don't want nothing black. And if y'all have you noticed that Kamala Harris has gotten lighter skin? Once she announced her skin color has changed about 3 tones. And now you have to say her name, Kamala, instead of Kamala. right? So it's like we've been saying her name wrong. So it was Kamala when she's around blacks, and it's Kamala when she's with whites and Asians. This broad is bad news. Now I want to talk about this coon named Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley, aside from the fact that I've never heard of a straight man that wore rose-colored lens glasses. That's a new one for a straight man. I'm not calling you gay, but pink lenses? I'll post a damn picture. Why would you wear pink lenses? Living in Atlanta. And you smile too much. And what are you giving all these little satanic symbols? That stands for 666. And which frat did you pledge to? And what did you do that they have on you that keeps you loyal? And how do you know how good Kamala is? You haven't done any research, nigga. You've got a radio program. You have the opportunity to pay someone to do some research. So when you have a damn show, you know what you're talking about. So what? Because she, you know, what, she gave one of your homies a blowjob, something way back, that makes her cool to make policy under which we live? Please. Kamala's my enemy. The Boule is our enemy. The Boule are traitors. The Boule are enemies. We must, in the streets, those that didn't pledge, those that believe in the Most High, those that believe in righteousness and what is right, be against these coons that sold their souls when they were in college. They sold their souls for the privilege to destroy their people. They're traitors. They're scum. I don't care. You show me a Greek that will stand up. This is why you don't ever hear about sex trafficking, a movement to end sex trafficking or drug rehab or any of that. You don't. Why? Because a bunch of them are in charge of it. Their job is to keep us down, and they do a great job of it. We have to start looking at our enemies within. In my view, if you put a brand on your ass, that says to me you're a slave of the other people, and happily so. A lot of folks need to, in fact, anybody that calls himself a Christian, you're not a Christian. You're going to burn in hell. A whole lot of folks going to burn in hell. I remember seeing the guys on the yard at Howard University, the Qs, humping on each other's behinds. That's gay. Okay, I can hug a man without being in question. You mean you can hump on a man's behind and simulate licking semen off of your fingers, which I've seen people do, and that's straight? Y'all are leaders? Divine Nine? No, you're undivine nine, and y'all going to hell. Y'all have led our people into destruction. People need to quit that bullshit. It's about confusion. It's about Satanism. It's about sin. It's about shame. It's about betraying your people. It's about betraying God. You are sinners on your way to hell. And most of y'all that know that that stuff is bogus, y'all know y'all around a bunch of whores, drunkards, and junkies. Y'all stay in it because y'all like the friendship. Well, read Genesis. When God destroyed Sodom, Lot's wife, who liked Sodom, she must have had a girlfriend back there. See, that's why her ass disappeared. She turned into a pillar of salt. The Sodomite agenda wishes to destroy black people. They had Obama 8 years to destroy us. They need more time. Trump, love him, hate him, he hasn't been pushing this Sodomite agenda like Obama did. That's one thing you can say. He never forced that stuff down folks' throats. Not under Trump. Hate him, talk about him, bogus ass tax bill, stupid ass, racist ass, Klansman ass, Nazi ass, bisexual ass Jeff Sessions, and stupid ass Ben Carson. All that's true. But they never shoved this LGBTQ thing. They never attacked the black family like Obama did. Like Valerie Jarrett, that little butch that he has with him. Okay, even police shootings. It's impossible to believe there's been less of that shit with Trump, who clearly has a problem with people of color. Yes, he does. He does. I mean, anybody white his age has a problem with black folks on some level. They can't help it. Their parents taught them, their grandparents taught them, the country taught them, the school taught them. How can Trump do better than Kamala and Obama? And they're supposedly black folks. Because look, Obama wanted to be a woman. Kamala probably wants to be a man. In fact, Kamala sounds more like a dude than Kamala. We want her to be a woman. And she says, Kamala. Maybe she want to be a dude. And this late ass marriage with this white dude, she's like running away from him, trying to push his ass off, like, you know, damn, I'm just a beard, and I'm just a beard. Don't try to get too intimate with me. This is an arrangement. I'm your beard, you're my beard. You make me look okay. And you know what? And forgive me, there's so many weak ass black folks into swirling until they're gonna give her a pass on swirling. I don't. No pass on swirl, Kamala. None. Okay. If you really want a black dude, which you don't, you're light skinned and you processed your hair so it is straight, at least on appearance. But you know, you need to get a different color. That I don't know. She has that dog pee colored. I mean, I'm serious. It's like a fucked up brown. I've never seen. I mean, it looks like a vomit brown or whatever. And then the black streak that you can see in where the root is black. So you got black hair. You don't like it. And we can tell. And you don't like us. You don't like your black roots, what little bit you have. You don't like us. And your father, who you don't like, who is a high yellow. Let's get into that for a second. Kamala's father's a brown. A brown in Jamaica is a high yellow descendant or a direct descendant of absentee or white landholders and slave owners. And browns hate dark skin. Browns hate the sufferers or the born for dead. These are people that's born for dead. Born for dead is how they said in Jamaican patois, are the sufferers or chaka chaka. The broke ass black people like you and me, Kamala's father's people, hate their guts. Send their kids to England. They do everything to do nothing for the broke blacks in Jamaica. Everything that you see happen in California is how the high yellow sellout Boule, coon Jamaicans, the browns, the brownins, how they treat the black majority. Kamala, on the mother's side, they come from that Indian Brahmin caste system where people that look like you and me are subhuman, to be raped, to be enslaved, to be experimented on, to be abused. And so you put two caste systems, the Jamaican high yellow caste system or paper bag caste system with the Indian paper bag caste system, and you got super coon bitch Kamala. And that's what's happening. And you got all these dumb fuck niggas like Smiley. These niggas went to college, but they're stupid. They probably got passed by fellow Greek teachers who gave them passing grades because they were in the same frat. They don't have to know a damn thing. He's a stupid motherfucker. He has a self-hating son that hates black people. He didn't even research that to put his mouth in there just because she's Greek. Stupid ass. Because Dr. Dibbles was Omega Psi Phi. Did he have the right to have thousands of black people infected with syphilis through the Tuskegee Project? Do y'all know all over the state of Georgia they have HIV/AIDS clinics? I believe they're giving people the AIDS. You know what? The black Boule people who have an agreement with the CDC, they have an agreement with the Planned Parenthood to kill off our people. They wrote down, W.B. Du Bois himself, y'all like him, you can take or leave him as far as I'm concerned. He wrote in 1932 that we needed quality, not quantity. In other words, he didn't need there to be a whole bunch of black folks. There just need to be superstars. Now you see why when black folks die, when the water's poisoned in Flint, when the jails are full, when blacks are homeless, black folks with education and money don't do a goddamn thing to help. That's why they like Obama, whether he did a damn thing to help you or me. He did help a couple of Boule niggas, but he did not help the masses of us. It's time for us to have a movement of struggling black folks and throw off the yoke of these Democratic Party aligned coons. And they're Republicans. They're just not many. The majority of the coon power structure is in the Democratic Party. We have to resist the Democratic Party. We need our own party. We need a black party. I keep saying this. I'm independent. I work with the Republicans, not because I want to be one, but because the Republicans, at least on a certain level, push back on stuff like this Equality Act or the pedophile bill that's going to destroy black people, destroy our houses of worship. It's going to allow for gentrification on a level you ain't never seen, even though every single solitary black Democrat in the Congress, with the exception of Marcia Fudge, is supporting mass gentrification, mass pedophile legalization, dropping the age of consent, destroying religious freedom of us in our houses of worship, substituting all the protections that blacks have never really gotten to gays who are going to really get that. In other words, the Boule is giving reparations to rich white homosexuals, and they're letting black people die. This is what the black, so-called black elite, these traitors. In fact, we need a civil war in our community against these people. When Kamala Harris, comes to your city, y'all need to demonstrate. You need to share this video with everyone. You need to tell everybody that this is going on. In fact, let me share something with you about these fake Greek letter organizations. Do you know they let whites and others join and take them as sisters and brothers, but they don't feel any brother or sisterhood for struggling black folks who didn't get to college, who are working a factory job or a service job. They don't care. Bernie Sanders was talking about $15 an hour. Isn't it interesting that there's not one nigger in Congress that knows that black women primarily are concentrated in jobs like hotel cleaners? They should be asking for $20 or $25 an hour. Why didn't that come from us? Didn't the minimum wage come from Adam Clayton Powell, a black man? You mean these niggers, there are 53 of them in Congress now or more. They don't do anything. They don't do a damn thing for us. Now, coming back to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris supports open borders. Kamala Harris supports sanctuary cities where black men can't get jobs. Trust me, last week I was in a conversation with a friend of mine from Iran, telling me he ran into a man who's a friend of a friend who couldn't speak one word of English. He had come into the country illegally from Honduras the day before and had a job. I can assure you, in my entire life, I've never been able to find a job in one day, no matter what my qualifications were to the job. No, high level, low level, you name it, I never could get it in one day. Never. I always had to go through all kinds of hoops. I'm talking about a dirty job. I had to really interview, had to go in a suit, had to speak the language, had to have a resume. Do you mean to tell me that these taco motherfuckers had done all that? They have not. They don't have to. Kamala thinks that's fair. Do you? Do you think black men shouldn't be able to have any kind of job, shouldn't be able to get credit? Do you? Do you think that we should be mass incarcerated and forced to fight forest fires for rich white sissies who shouldn't even be living in a brush fire zone? Come on, y'all. And as for people like Roland Martin and anybody else, trust me, if they're speaking for Kamala, they're usually a Greek, or they're gay, or they're Masonic, and they're always enemies to black people. That's right. They hate the masses of black people. We're useful for them when they want it. They will never say racism when black folks are being murdered in the streets and mass incarcerated, but let them miss a job opportunity or get insulted in a petty apartheid episode in a hotel somewhere, and they're out screaming because they only give a damn about themselves. We have to crush the selfish niggas at the top. It's time to go after coons. It's time for civil war, my sisters and brothers. We should have removed John Lewis and scum like him, and he's Greek too. And I think, of course, he's sweet. He's sweet. He's sweet, I know. He's sweet, I know. Women are fine, I know. But with men, he must go. He'll tell the world wherever he goes. He'd rather be with niggas. He's sweet, I know. Okay. These people are jive. They're jive. I live here in D.C. They're jive. They're jive. And folks have stuff on them. The Congressional Black Caucus, when they had the big Congressional Black, they have orgies. And folks take pictures and all this kind of stuff. That's why these people are so compromised. That's, you know what? I would rather say, you know what? I'll give it to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a hoe, and everybody knows it. I don't want him having sex with underage people, but he's open about being a hoe. I would rather the politicians, and particularly the butchers, the women that are dykes up on Capitol Hill, at least one of them has to be. They're all like hard looking. I'm telling you, you could make monster cookies if you did molds of their faces. One up there's a butch, at least one. Say, I talk about the strong black woman. They have shoulders like a football player, like a transsexual. One of them is a butch, if not a bunch of them. They're butches. I mean, they look like they play football. Well, I mean, black women are fine, except for in politics. Have y'all noticed all these hard-looking sisters, all these hard-looking sister prosecutors? They look like they go skydiving without a parachute. I mean, come on, y'all. When are we gonna get real? When are we going to get tired? Stop pretending because they've got skin color like you that they give a damn. They don't. You could not have this level of oppression and suffering in our community without the complicity and the support of blacks that know better. Hey, look, a lot of things I don't know. But I do know from going to some schools and working that a lot of black folks make deals with the devil against their own people and against their own God. And that's what you have here. I really do want, in fact, you're going to see a lot more of these discussions. In fact, I'm going to be on conservative radio. I have to go there because they won't let people like you and me talk to Roland Martin. Okay, they won't let folks, not that we want to, they won't let folks like you and I on the Breakfast Club. Little stupid ass Charlemagne. Nigga don't know much. Well, he knows how to put Spanish fly pill in your drink. So don't drink nothing that he gave y'all ladies. And you know what? All the people will come and support him. Notice how Me Too isn't after him. Notice how Me Too is after R. Kelly, but they're not after Charlemagne. Who is he serving and how did he get on HBO? And he had Kamala on his show with that little sissy flag in the background. If I had a gay flag, everybody would call me gay, right? Why is it that other people can wave that stuff and they're okay? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. No, I didn't say anybody was one way or the other, except for John Lewis. I had, nigga's wife went off of me because she thought that John Lewis had brought me home for some action. His wife knows whether he's gay or not. And obviously from the way she acted towards me, he must be. So, if John Lewis wants to sue me, John Lewis, let's go into court for discovery, baby. Why your wife was mad at me being a man in your house, other than the fact that your wife has an issue with you bringing men home. Well, what is that issue? Okay, I'm almost done. Let me recap this by saying to you all, it's time for us to get tired. It's time for us to get tired of coons. It's time for us to be against Kamala Harris. Tell everybody that she covered up for the murders of black youth. She covered up for the murders of black men. She kept black men mass incarcerated. She covered up for the murders of blacks and the torture and racial terrorism from illegals on us. Kamala Harris instituted a reign of terror against black people for not supporting Proposition 8. The black community wasn't in favor of gay marriage, so Kamala and others have been punishing the blacks in California ever since. It's time for people to wake up and realize that there are forces that are arrayed to destroy us, and some of them are black. There are a lot of idiots like Ricky Smiley, who looks kind of sweet in one picture. Yeah, I said it about you. And I don't care if you have children. I know gay folks with children. Why are you pushing gay politicians and folks who've disenfranchised blacks? How come Ricky Smiley's ass isn't talking about the homeless in Atlanta and people being hungry, eating out of garbage cans that are supposedly the city to go to where blacks can make it? Why are you silent, Ricky Smiley, about HIV/AIDS and how all these black people getting this stuff down there? And the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, which is the present body of what was running the United States Health Service, the people who ran the Tuskegee experiment. Why? And Kamala, she hates our people. She covered up for Oscar Grant. She covered up for Malcolm Shabazz. She's been covering up for the police that murdered, even in objection to the ACLU. Kamala Harris had a lab tech, who was framing hundreds and hundreds of black men, and Kamala went against the judges. Kamala has people on death row that are innocent. She hates black men. She's never seen a set of black nuts she didn't want to cut off or smash or burn up or put a taser to. And black women, you're nothing without black men, and black men are nothing without you. I wouldn't be here without my black mother, my black grandmother, my black great-grandmother, and so forth. We need each other. And black women, don't join the emotional clamor to say you need a black woman in the White House. We already had a black woman in the White House. Her name was Barack Obama. And we don't need a black man named Kamala Harris. I would rather there be nobody black in the White House, and down the ballot, we were in control of our communities and our neighborhoods and our local economies. We need to be serious. And also, I'd like for us to be in control of the media and our image. Let them have the damn White House. Let us have our own nation. Okay? Jewish people don't have to have the White House to be in control. When are we going to learn to marshal our sources and our resources and come together? And the best thing we can do to show that we have power is to crush the Democratic Party. Never again will they do this to us. Put up someone that we don't want, that's not one of our people. Another foreign bisexual mulatto from another country that we don't know, that we don't like, that hates us, and we should hate them back. Thank God we had a head start to hate this broad. Thank God she was a prosecutor, not a fake civil rights leader that could deceive us. Man, I've been denouncing this broad for 2 years. I will do it. I will do it as long as she's running. As long as Kamala runs for president, you can count on me to be coon busting against her bitch, butch, fake, bigot, Brahminical Hindu ass. And a little bald-headed, sweet-looking white husband. I bet you his wallet is a lot thicker than his you-know-what. Yes, I said it, and it's just time for us to start saying how we really feel, okay? And last but not least, the Greek letter organizations, if you're a Greek, you know that you're a traitor to your people. You know that you guys do something once or twice a year to say about blackness, but most of the time it's drinking and whoring and carousing and bullshit socials, and our people are dying. You're an enemy to your people, and one day soon, people are going to wake up, and you're going to be ashamed of the brand on your penis, or the brand on your ass, or the brand on your chest, or the brand on your neck, or wherever you put a tattoo. And if you die, if you pledge your allegiance to a God other than the one in the Bible, you're going to burn in hell. And you deserve it for what you've done to your own people. So you want to know what sin you did? You betrayed God's elect, the black Hebrews of America. We, the descendants of God's chosen people, you're basically my goddamn Philistine. You're my Goliath, right? You're my Nebuchadnezzar. You're all the tormentors of the holy people. That's what you guys are. Y'all the ones with the golden calf. Y'all the ones following Molech and Remphan. You guys are the idolaters that Jesus said were a brood of vipers and a filthy generation. That's who you are. Y'all haven't led our people anywhere. And there's nothing to be proud of. And one or two of you is good, but you know what? That's like talking about good white people. Who can count on that? The critical mass of white folks go for the bullshit that holds us down. The critical mass of black Greeks are traitors. This is Dr. Randy Short. As a coon buster, saying to you, say no to Kamala, say no to the freaky, sodomite, Luciferian, Illuminati Greeks. Y'all are traitors. Yes, y'all is. Y'all all is traitors. Doesn't matter what your money is. Doesn't matter about the good thing here or there that you do. Y'all support eugenics. Y'all support the sodomization and the destruction of our people. Y'all are enemies. and you took pledges before gods, white pagan gods. Y'all are enemies. Y'all going to hell. Y'all are Satanists. And it's time we have this discussion. Y'all going to burn in hell. There's one way, and it's through the one God, and that's not what you follow, because if you did, you'd care about the poor, the needy, and the oppressed, and damn it, y'all don't.